as our lovely Lionsgate portal closes, those who have continued to decide to be their self, they grow more and more expanding. And in fact, what I can share with you all is that with your inner child adult in the forefront, that's why spiritual practices, mindfulness, mindsight, also mental hygiene practices, because mindsight comes from our lovely Dr. Daniel Siegel, mindfulness from a lot of different practitioners. There's also secular. So, FYI, IHP, 5D Collective, we don't get picky with words to the extent of those who are, for Pachas, all Cuscos. And so when you have self and other people, those would be Isaacs and Abrahams. The Jacobs are like, okay, sure, Cusco. We actively learn how Pacha and any smart person, stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable, because an inner child adult is a divine feminine. So mystic or not, they will be true spirituality in the science's words, restored embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating, integrated brain person means, like Terry Real shares, functional adults who don't take things personally because they have healthy self-worth. So they do not, we here at IHP do not have porous boundaries. No, we actively know that boundaries are nothing more than, oh, look, I have a great conversation with you. Okay, so people who have a distorted perception of their self, they're the ones who are not yet inner child adults. They will, in fact, not want to do any mental hygiene or any mental health for that matter. It is a sad thing to share with you all how many people I see following strombolies around. Between bad therapists and spiritual bypass bad mystics, they're not bad because they're bad. Bad meaning ineffective as a professional. So I should organize. I'm a content creator. I enjoy my community. And I'm giving you food for thought. And food for thought, though, as a content creator is there's a lot of ineffective human beings out there using their words and they're sharing with you shortcuts that don't exist. In the meantime, the one who spells it out the best, let me use our lovely Sadhguru because he is awesome, and then Dr. Daniel Siegel because together they are a power couple. I've created that power couple right now, and they are awesome. So for, where are you? 1 second, here we go. The spiritual process, thank you, Sadhguru, is not a career. It is a way of life. I have seen active hypocrites share lovely Sadhguru's post. Do you know why they're hypocrites? Well, because Jacob can spot a mile away an Isaac or an Abraham that doesn't have a Jacob. It means I can spot a human being who's using their left mode alone. Their inner child will not be out to play because there'll be a Cusco actively doing all of what Cusco does to Pacha throughout the entire movie, even ending with them lying to him. And that's, see, to an inner child adult, you just lied to me, but I'm an inner child adult whose attachment trauma informed, which is why a true divine feminine doesn't forget this other thing. Where are you again, Sadhguru? Well, may your decisions be based upon what truly matters and works, not upon your likes and dislikes. So that's number one. Divine feminines, we definitely know we don't do our karma, meaning we don't project any of our emotions. We tell you how we're feeling. That's what a functional adult does. I'm feeling this way. We will even cry with you in fetal position. In no way, shape, or form does that equate shame, or when I look back, I shouldn't have dated that human being who was not able to be a securely attached human being. Let me go blame Luciferian era on people. Let me go blame some more Lucifer for the drugs and addictions versus actively disengage from using those words. When I'm talking about human being people, mantles of mental health people who talk about narcissists all over the place on YouTube, and they actively have more degrees than I'll ever want because I don't want a degree. I'm here to help people that want to be people. So that's where Pinocchio, that doesn't lie to the fairy godmother every chance he gets. I mean, it took him to get eaten by a whale before he figured it out. Oh, no, wait, his father actively almost died or whatever. Is it that extreme? Well, that's the unfortunate business when a divine feminine does watch people, and there's 8 billion people out there. So luckily, we don't have to watch that many before we're like, okay, we're going to stay away from Isaacs and Abrahams because they don't know how to get Jacobs online. Their 14-month-old with karma, likes and dislikes, continues to act like buffoonery and follow those 7 to 14 charming. They're all on an evil scale, not because they're demons or Luciferian. No, they actively speak about yoga bringing demons out of you. Men not texting you back because they get into this contempt, disgust towards us women the second after they're done the deed, by the way. Just so you know, it's like right after they're done. Immediately emotions, it's a sad and shame. And then there's no, sales pitch, go to therapy, come to me for therapy. None of that. No, no. That's it. Here you go, women. No text back because this is how they're going to feel towards you. These emotions that are really sad for that human being man. And the woman, I don't know. But in the meantime, I'm thinking shame, and you didn't provide a solution. You just made a blanket statement and you played to your crowd. In fact, you began that statement like others with your crowd in mind. And they all fell for it. No, they didn't. That's called subjective reality and adaptive child, maladaptive child Cuscos who believe that's the person I look up to. I want to be just like them when I grow up. Terry Real, come on in. Adoptive children, they're perfectionists because it's a child's idea what a grown-up is supposed to look like, but they're rigid and chaotic. In fact, they have non-bilateral non-integration, so they don't know how to use the left and right of their feet and their brain together. That's an explanation that I have gotten and that I can witness, which is why we don't waste our time talking to Cuscos. We let Cusco lie at the end like Pacha does because, well, I mean, 3-year-olds, they don't have a 16-year-old who wants to hug their own self. And actively, they don't even have the awareness of the 1-year-old, so much so that an avoidant attachment is going to go online, say you're picking on avoidance. I don't want to do therapy or journaling or mindfulness because everyone's fucked up. And not hear what they just said to themselves and to us and then think that's going to be cool to do that. Or I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think there's a way out of the hellhole in your fucking suffering body. You'd think you'd go grab it. I mean, I don't like to do back exercises either. Well, I whine a little bit about it, but I do it. Okay, so mindfulness, mindsight, and mindset. Not really small things, but people don't get it. Everything one in existence, the same energy, manifesting itself in a million different ways. So I'm only one voice, and I say, well, you don't have to want inner and outer well-being. In fact, there are people who say on individuals' YouTube pages that are healing, Kylie, I support you. They're healing from borderline personality and narcissism with a sociopath boyfriend. They get death threats and mails and all these ignorant human beings thinking that they're doing some type of braveheartery because really, the fact that they can't hear the difference between authentic healing people and others just shows me how ignorant and blinded you are, by the way, and I know who you're following because I see them too. So on one of the posts that Kylie does, as she's sharing a moment where she's having, I forget if it was a realization, a tough moment, you having people not want you back in their life, you having people bring up things that's really tough for people who have made specific types of mistakes because of the maladaptive child pattern, which they didn't choose as a 1-year-old or 3-year-old that wasn't in a safe environment, 4 or 5. And anyone who doesn't understand implicit memory doesn't understand the words of, you're not going to have words, you're going to have sensations that you don't know how to explain. Once you begin healing with a good therapist, images are going to pop up. And then you're going to be making sense of those sensations and images. And then you're going to be integrating. And that's the process. And it takes time. You know what Isaac's and Abraham's like? I want it for me or self. So people who have second motives, basically they're not doing it to be objectively a person who can help another. But I want to get it my way. I want a shortcut. So in my courses, I see people who want to romanticize or demonize. Then they want shortcuts to heal people. And I'm thinking, you didn't hear any of what our professors are saying, and they're all subject matter experts. And I'm not sure how many licenses and certificates you need, but you obviously did not hear the part about it's a process. So, there's a lot of different ways people are using words, and I know I do too. But again, the spiritual process is not a career, it's a way of life. Let me read again more on this one. There is something, Sadhguru, within you which is longing to be spiritual. Spiritual does not mean looking up or looking down or praying or going to the temple. If only Sadhguru knew psych education, but I'm coming and filling in that gap. So here, stay on board with me. Spiritual essentially means you are in an experience which is beyond the limitations of the physical. Okay, so when you have synergy with being yourself, let me read this for a minute, pausing from Sadhguru. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in a new way of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that the new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. And so words for me are very much like air. They mean all different things and then the same things and then they don't and then that's it. And that's how it works here at IHP. Anyone who doesn't like it and plays with words as if they're writing and etching on stone, they're not going to enjoy this land because we are actively inner child adults who choose to use words how we want. And if we don't actively understand, we say, I don't understand that word. Can you explain it to me the way you mean it? Because that's what differentiated selves know how to do. And that's because there's no chips on shoulders. So again, open-heartedness, no ill will, nobody knows everything, we all know nothing. What we do know is I'd never walked one day in your shoe, one. But we are also not distorted with this evil, Knievel, medieval, gender stereotypes, any of it. None of it is here. Here at IHP, everyone's a person, period. And if you don't know how to be nice to all people, then you don't want to be here because we can be nice to all people even when they're not nice to us. Called being humble. Doesn't mean you're bending down over anywhere. No, you actively know divine feminine here. Sciences keeps me humble, not the stories. I already have my relationship with faith. That's the whole point. And that's exactly why the only people who don't understand why in this lovely year of 2024 moving forward, sciences will prevail and that is a good thing are the same people who don't understand how many ways people have been and will continue to distort those which are within the true spirituality journey. So Jesus is a true spirituality human being. So was Buddha. So were a lot of others. And I have heard their words get distorted consistently. For none of them told us to go and fight our brothers and sisters. That is the very unfortunate distortions of those unfortunate and any person who is actively not trying to harmonize with softness and true authority is not going to have any ownership of their feminine whatsoever. If they did, then they would know about human evolution and expansion of consciousness. They would also know how to be equanimous because they would be not their 16-year-old brain. So the 16-year-old brain of a person is that adaptive child. I see them within the academic community. I see the one focused, the one pointed, the illumined, the monkey, the donkey, the butterfly, these brains that are in apparently this illusionist land. It's not an illusional land. I heard one dude say, never, ever, ever has there been a medium before. And I'm like, wow, that's a science. That's not a science. This true person is not anyone. The never, ever. I mean, I know when I want to exaggerate how I'm going to do it too, but you actively think you're right. And you're not, because I have medium powers and they're not powers. But anyways, let me move forward because Sabine explains existential physics of this lovely field that the mystics are in a relationship with. Integration of the brain. And that's Daniel Siegel. Integration made visible is kindness and compassion. He says this road to integration can be incredibly energizing because what you are doing and helping is someone heal, and it is bringing out into the world the love and connection that is the birthright for all of us. Life as we move together to create more integration in our world. And so this is where those who are Jacob personalities is what I'm using from that lovely rabbi. Basically, it's a healthy, self-worth, empowered person. You're using your prefrontal cortex. You know how to be yourself. And that's something that Sadhguru is talking about. Let me finish. Spiritual essentially means you are in an experience which is beyond the limitations of the physical. That means you are in a boundless space. This longing is always there in every human being. Either you are approaching it in installments. This is when you get first good therapy and then you continue if you want. Spiritual self-help, mindset, mindsight, and mindfulness here with your mentor, podcast host, Voices Stories, other mentors, other life coaches, and so on and so forth. And we don't care that they say yoga brings demons out of you because it's not true. Tarot doesn't bring demons out of the earth, nor do volcanoes. That those stories are for the 3D, 4D collective to keep on prancing around. They have solace. They have entertainment. They entertain themselves. They don't actively appreciate their oversoul. They don't appreciate 24 hours. They don't welcome all of their self back home. They don't do Ariel with Eric, hey, I got a tail and I'm not getting rid of my voice. The whole drawn out anything is actively a person who doesn't know how to say, I'm a flawed, imperfect human being. I know how to have integrity. To be here means that your first choice point was whenever it is that you recognize I did something unkind, I don't want to do it. I did something against my value body and heart body. I made a mistake that I am sitting here saying it doesn't feel good. And any one of us as an adolescent, you will have that first moment. I remember mine, and I remember exactly how I spoke because I was held with equanimity. So you will hold yourself the way you were held by your primary caregiver and then those around you. That is one thing. Terry will come on in. So you listen to how you talk to yourself, and think of your primary caregiver and or home and when you were a child, and then come back around and pause yourself, please. And maybe you can pause and say, you know what, I'm pretty sure I don't want to talk to myself that way if there's a way that you don't appreciate. And then you say, oh wait, I might feel. So this is, again, self-aware, accountable, regulating. Let me regulate my nervous system into what is my social engagement system. You can do it, but it's, if you're aware, go home first, looking at your childhood. This is the one. Whenever you're blabbing your mouth, go home. 1, 3, whatever year. That's the way you're going to begin to maybe become aware of what you are, and then say, okay, left mode. Now my right mode and left are going to work with me, the life that owns this body, and I'm going to get into synergy. And you stop with all the other people, paying all attention to all the other. Stop with all the other people. Pay attention to you. Get home to your 1-year-old. You'll find that you will enjoy and all of inner and outer well-being with people around you. That's why boundless space. This is a longing always there. Yes, the 1-year-old of every one of us was seeking to attach. Now, some people, they don't believe, because all of these are studies that are still building. You choose whatever. Some people don't believe in Reiki, and I'm like, well, of course you don't. You haven't had it, one. It's not visible anyways. You don't have to believe in anything. I'm going to say you didn't experience it, but you want to use the word believe, you use the word believe. It's fine, because we use words interchangeably when we're grown-ups. Inner child adults, we're not picky about words. We actually will ask, again, without any, oh my God, what are you saying? It'll be, hey, so I'm wondering. And if we have words that are triggering, we get to work with those ones, by the way. So either you're approaching in installments. That's the people who actively don't notice. Yeah, we'll leave that one alone. Or you are consciously going for the ultimate. That's what you get to do here, as you want to tap into the infinite higher human conscious potential experience. Otherwise, you're not going to do mindfulness, mindset, mindsight with me, the membership content, or support the channel by donating. It's going to be uninteresting to your mind, your active mind. Your amygdala will not be alerted as, well, I want to do more of it. It's okay. There are those who will, again, on Kylie's page, like, inner well-being. Well-being is fucking boring. Or, like the avoidant attachment, I'm going to just stay this way because, you know, people are fucked up. Or Zen Master, we got laundry. You can't be enlightenment. So there's a bunch of people. They have all of this stuff. Then we have the neuroscience smart people and the smart sciences people. The neurosciences people will explain to you the amazing, oh my gosh, is it amazing when you're in flow. Selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, richness. So, yes, spirituality, awakening, you don't need anyone. I didn't need my twin flames. They came about in 1, 2, and 3s, and then I got soulmates. And by the time I got to the 3rd twin flame, I got over a lot of things, and it was really awesome as I knew what was happening. So again, the divine feminine feels sad for the masculines, all of them, even the ones who say they're feminines, but the ones who don't get home to their self and then do this lovely thing called integration. So what is integration? Again, left and right, we're friends with our own self. So one, you can be a secure attachment for yourself, your nervous system. I know how to regulate when I'm having a panic attack. In fact, I know how to be a lot sweeter to me in any and all ways. That's what I like. In fact, I don't want anybody who's going to be a block, who's going to be a Cusco, who's going to throw, I don't even give a shit. Your tone, keep it for yourself. I don't need you. I don't need you around me with your tone. Life is too short for me to have people who don't want to actively work with themselves, meaning a person who would want to build anything with me and give me the attitude. It's ridiculous. I mean, I found it interesting how people grew up. I didn't realize that they wouldn't notice life keeps moving forward and that you don't know how to work with your mood. What is it? You don't want to be happy and fulfilled inside. I'm going to say, sure, yeah, you keep doing that. I'm not sure why you would want to get into sissy fits and pissy pants and rage, and why would you stay in any of those? You're not mastering anything about growing up emotionally. That doesn't make sense to human being, inner child, adult brain. I'm just saying, and college, yeah, they have people spending lots of money doing things, and some therapy. Therapy was their major. Wow. I'm just thinking, wow. But then again, I see them all in my classes too. So, anyways, integration supports our, Yes, embrace of every aspect of ourselves, exactly. Allowing what we perceive as positive and what we perceive as negative to harmonize in a balanced symphony of life. Yes, because you make sense of your solo self, your core self, your narrative self, and your relational self. And that's with compassion. Otherwise, you're not going to make sense of anything. And that's with your own childhood home, not by projecting it into the world. And then once you're happy to be yourself, then you're going to be able to even have this an open throat chakra. It's really fun to speak with people. You're going to have this self-empowerment so you don't get pissing your pants when people don't like you. Oh, and you also get creative and are very sensual with the right people, sensual also in other ways. That's all people who understand how to navigate their nervous system, not do any torture chamber, anything with sympathetic. Sympathetic, whenever I'm around anyone who's too much in their sympathetic, it's like, okay, I'm very energetic on the other hand too. So there are people who they think that I'm in my sympathetic. I'm not, but I'm actively always on in an enlightenment vibration. It's really fun. It's called synergy. You can be here, Zen Master, if you did more of attuning to your nervous system instead of seeing emotions. Okay, and I'm done with that one. Love is freedom and joy. Thank you, Sadhguru. Attachment is bondage and misery. So my 1-year-old, she's free. That's the reason why emotions aren't laundry. And as I was saying, secure attachment. So some of us will be the only secure attachment figure any person will ever have because, well, they have to meet a pacha in their life. And that means that you will be a deep source of soothing wherever you have been a safe haven for them. So their nervous system got to be soothed. And then you will also continue to be a secure base for them because when they're out in the world, which is full of uncertainties, unexpecteds, and unwanteds, you're a safe haven. So you're able to have their nervous system enter into one moment of the rest and rejuvenate, which is the social engagement system. Because the 1-year-old knows they're unconditionally loved, that they don't have to work for love, that they can bring all their moods into the mix, all of their little nervous system stuff, whatever it's doing that they didn't learn how to regulate. You're going to be that sounding, no, you're not going to be a sounding board, but you're going to be there to give them a hug. And they're going to learn to hear the Jacob tone. If they don't like it, they don't hang around Jacob personalities. That's because Jacob tone is a flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brain. We don't lecture Cusco's, but we don't allow Cusco to do his adaptive child, maladaptive child behavior. At the end of Emperor's New Groove, Cusco lies. Pacha accepts, but Cusco's learning how to be a Pacha. So that's another side note for our lovely end of Lionsgate portal. We don't have hanging out with people who don't accept. I will tell you how I think, how I feel, all of it. If you can't have actual conversations with the heart of yours open and the mind, then we're obviously not building anything because it's called not a true relationship. Romantic or not, you don't have the capacity to be yourself. I don't have the capacity. I won't be around me, Maria. I've actively told people if I can't be myself or talk, I can't be here then. I'm not going to try to do whatever you're telling me. It's not how I work. I don't know what else to tell you except for no. And you tell me. Actively, I've had people say, you can't be friends with this person. No, I will not be friends with no one. But I can accept that you don't want me to, and I can accept that you don't want to be friends with me if this is the way you want. But I will not be disengaging from friendship due to you not liking another human being. They felt distress. So a person who basically feels okay with you being you and then feels reassured by all of that which we were saying, presence, attunement, resonance, and trust. So you allowing yourself to be yourself, they can be them. That's why you lovingly accept. They don't work for love. They can have all their mood swings. They don't have to be a regulated nervous system. They're just going to learn how not to bring you the attitude because you're going to say, that tone doesn't work because that's how an equanimous grown-up taught it to me. And so that's exactly how you're going to integrate the tone. I get it. You're in a mood. We can talk later if you want when you're in a good mood. No, I don't want your mood right now because, again, first world problems. Anyone? That's another part. I'm in the Enlightenment Soul Age group as a mystic. So when I hear anybody wanting to bring me their mood because they just decided they don't want to do a little bit of emotional, mental, and physical mastery, no, you don't need to be here like that. You're actively unappreciative of the gift you've been given, this thing called life. You won't be yourself the next lifetime. I'm Maria right now, and you're actively making something into what is not an expanding consciousness moment. So, you want, no, I know what you want. You want a trash can. I see, I'm not a trash can. So this is that part of where when people don't want to expand consciousness and they want to stay in a vibration, we don't say, get out of my house. No, we actively say, I appreciate you, but I'm not going to take your side. I appreciate your emotional plane. Again, I've had situations where I say, I'm not taking your side, but I'm not taking your side. I understand that you're upset is what I am understanding. So I'm here as your friend, as your lover. I will listen to you. I will hug you. I'm not here to take your side and do this thing, because the tone tells me that you're not just talking about something to expand. You're actively just, that's, you know what, I'm going to read it this way, because that's exactly why we won't sit with this. Unless you constantly strive to be better. So to me, you don't need to strive to be better, because you're a consistent piece of consciousness when you are being yourself with an integrated brain the way I'm sharing with you. And that's through your own capacity and desire to self-regulate, be aware, accountable, with mindfulness, mindsight, and mindset. Okay, and you keep doing that here with us, with me, one-to-one mentorship, masterclass, the membership content that will be here, the course material, all that, and then your day-to-day as well. It helps every step of the way. Every day you get to do this attuning to yourself, bringing yourself up. This is your biochemistry in your mind and body, not mine. And when you're not doing better, but again, for me, it's not better, because didn't you know you were with thoughts and emotions? Anyone. So that's what comes to my brain as I think of people who don't realize, yeah, you do have emotions. However you want to talk about it is fine to me, but you've got them and you've got thoughts. And there's a way I can explain it to you of how they only last 90 seconds. And you don't grow emotionless in the Enlightenment Soul Age group. You grow deeply emotional. The flatliners, they're not here. They're spirituality Soul Age group. You can tell. There's a narrow piece of consciousness. It's not a competition. You can understand if you hear, or you can ask more questions. You will become a stagnating pool. A stagnant pool. Yeah, it's not funny. Stagnation will ultimately poison your life. It doesn't poison anyone, because they actively roam around saying, humans suck, life sucks, everything sucks, and you're like, whoa. But good news, once they've finished, so once they settle into their stagnation, then you just know that that's what they are. So that's a side note. As a mystic, you pick up on all of it. I pick up on people's brains in the sense of what's going on. So I have sometimes a question. Are you hearing me? Because I don't perceive you here. And now I know a lot more about how what I'm picking up is an embodied brain. So I actively try to say, okay, maybe you shouldn't mention this many times, because they don't seem to understand that their brain isn't actively, like my illiterate friend, who's not my actual friend. He's my big man, baby child friend, because my big man, baby child friend is the one who talked to him. But he considers himself every now and then when he comes around part of the group, but he is illiterate because I gave him the nickname because he tried talking about marketing with me. And it was like watching a person reading a piece of paper but not know what was on it, which I've seen in movies. And so that's why I said he's talking, but he doesn't know. And I could perceive his brain. And then he talked to another dude on food, and a chef, a good chef. Now my friend, he was not as if you will, polite. He actively at a certain point said, "Nice to meet you," shook his hand, turned his back to him. And I won't forget that one. And then, well, I did give him a tone in one of these other instances. But anyways, long story short, this person, I call him illiterate, not because he's illiterate. It's because I picked up his brain's like doing shit, but he doesn't know. He's gotten better, FYI. I wonder, something must have happened. Maybe he got more educated. But in the years, because it's been 3 years now, he's now better at understanding topics. So I'm thinking he's reading more, like material. I don't know though. Anyways, this is the fun of being a mystic, but it's also called a somatic empath. Dr. Daniel Siegel knows all about it. He can describe to me a meshing, which I've experienced, and that is not fun. When someone tries to stick you in there, yeah, it's like, okay. And again, you recalibrate by using your mouth to speak to people. You don't say, "You're meshing me right now." They won't know what I'm talking about. You probably don't either, but I do. I actively do. You can ask. Then re-traumatizing. So yes, I've had people who actively are trying to get off in a way that I'm just like, oh my God, this is disgusting me right now inside. I need to see how to, and that's another one of those things. Again, you don't actively accuse. You're just like, okay, you know what? I know this is what hey, I have to run. I really need to go right now because, again, they're not aware of it consciously. This is all their default mode network. They're not aware of it. They don't until they choose to be mindfully aware. And then the mind sight is why it's mindfulness and mind sight, because sensations inside. And so they would actively need to know their traumatizing story, one, accept it with compassion, work to get out of those patterns of dysregulation and all of what they will have identified. That's, again, awareness is key of their lens. The minute they're aware, okay, I'm going to disengage from all of re-traumatizing activities, all of it, not some of it, every single one. With a good therapist, you get a list, you start working on it. That's what a person who will want to be proactive to get out of all of it. So again, in the meantime, am giving you what I pick up on without saying a blip to anyone. In fact, they won't ever know who they are because that would be very not necessary, but also, you know what Cusco does, right? Again, at the end of Emperor's New Groove. Anybody know Elsa? What does she do? Show yourself. I'm dying to meet you. What do copycats do? What do cheerleaders in high school and all those movies do? I'm not, again, don't, it's not the words. I'm trying to say, what do those who are adaptive child, who are not aware of their unconscious and their subconscious do? They got the 7 to 14 charming. They're already following somebody else. They think they're Plasma Girl or, some other person from some other place, and they got a group. It's a flat earther group, okay? So with that being said, we all get to be ourselves. Here you get to be your human name. Can I have your human name? You want to be your first-year-old, 3-year-old? That would be great. If you do, then you're going to be here. If you don't, it's okay. You're probably going to just say, that's just all gibberish and bullshit. That's okay, too. We got our best naysayer ever. I love him. He doesn't realize what a gift he gave me that day. And so did another person recently. That was another gift. So anytime we can become more self-aware, accountable, and regulating, those of us who are pure consciousness, we enjoy it. And it's like, my body. Okay, I still have this stuff to work with. Oh, look, I have that. Oh, this is fun. Oh, FYI. So here's the deal. Romance? Yes. I wanted to say something special about that one. And that is, how can I break it down? For a divine feminine, we feel bad for the masculines, as I've been spelling it out. Those who are masculines, but they consider themselves feminines, we do our best to disengage completely from getting mad. Okay, so we feel bad/sad because sadness is about connection. We feel mad/angry, that's about correction. We have no business correcting any divine feminine, masculine, and again, that means a person who's not healthy self-worth, who does not take their inner child, heal all their stuff, and then come to me as a functional adult who knows no ill will, who knows equanimity, and who knows how to walk the path that Jesus taught me and that God taught me. So once I have that person, then I have a divine feminine, me, Maria, your host. And that's when I have a mindfully aware, mindsight and mindset aware person who loves to do brain shit all the time, and emotional shit is involved, not the laundry shit. No. So once we get that, that's when a feminine pure conscious is like, okay, here you go, you're a piece of life, come on over and enjoy, let's have fun. As for the masculine bit and divine, which is why science keeps us humble, and I'm not joking with any one of you right now, because when you have a relationship with this infinite, unconditionally loving space, it's very easy to understand what nurturing means, which is why it is not me actively pulling on you, containing you, or none of that. So when I got taught about God, I got taught about free will. I got taught about how people turn their back on God the minute something bad happens to them. I actively see this happening daily. Anyone, doesn't matter if they think they're talking for God. For me, whenever you are not supporting human beings to love each other and then to understand how the world works, and there's a lot of things that are very intricate, put politics and all that stuff to the side, because those are entities that I'm completely disappointed in. But I understood and understand where we're at there too. So put all that to the side. The focus is spiritual, self-help, personal development. Okay, so I'm bringing back to make sure we stay on track with where I'm going with this example and put away everything. So I'm being taught about people turning their back on a one-to-one basis from God the minute anything happens to them. I see it happening as I'm going through my catechism, as I'm getting older, and that doesn't change. I'm 44, it still doesn't change. And so we will know of the very simple, straightforward free will opportunity you are getting. It's as simple as it was the first day I said to myself, why would I ever treat you with a closed heart, unkindness, when I don't want to be treated this way? This is not how I want to be treated. It hurts my feelings. However old it was as an adolescent, and I chose. And then I chose after I did also some of what adolescents do. I'm not following any of you. I don't fear inadequacy. No, you're all actually awful. You don't keep your promises. You tease in ways that are absurd and doesn't make sense. I'm serious. I'm not serious. I actively am not humored by any of it. So, long story short, that didn't change. I said it's good. I made my choices. I knew what I was choosing and what was I disregarding. So again, you get a choice point as an adolescent. The way the brain develops, 12 to 24. That's when by the time you're an adolescent, you're looking to your societal, your peers. No longer you're heard from home. So your attachment system. That's where your first 8 years of life count. And that's why when I think of the age groups that Sadhguru gives, I believe for kids it's 12, and men and women, they change it up. But anyways, that's probably hormonal and other things like that. So long story short, what I was getting to is you're going to be given the free will opportunity to hear, I did something that my value body and heart body don't agree with, because we are all connected. However, if you did not get securely attached that first year of life, you're defective for yourself, not me. And you will also paint that picture, which is why, as Patrick Tiahan points out, childhood trauma survivors, they have had a distortion of their self and of reality. You're distorted, all of it. All your perception is distorted. And in fact, that's why I completely disregard people who talk to me about humanity as evil and kind. Automatically, I know you have a trust break. Your business, not mine. That we have situations, yes, and that's where a conversation using those words is different than an accusation, and energy and emotion that people will have without their complete awareness. So you'll notice when somebody's aware of what they're feeling and thinking, because they're going to present it, and you're going to have a nice conversation, by the way, not a Cusco attitude. And as we close on out, because the sun's leaving us, the part about how you can always choose to make amends is also easy. Free will. It's you get to choose based on you how to lead a life of true spirituality. That's that meaning and connection beyond the solo self. You don't have to believe in anything. It's actually called being a decent human being in the book of anybody who knows attachment, trauma, information. Sciences grounds any person who's an actual divine feminine, because it's your inner child. So your body is yours, your mind is yours, your divine masculine. And then and you get to be what is a functional adult. And mindfulness and mindsight and mindset helps anyone, because why would you not want to do emotions? So the only ones who whine about emotions are the same human beings who don't have their 1-year-old or 3-year-old and say, well, I'm really upset right now. And I said, whine, yes, W-I-N-E, no, W-H-I-N-E. I'm bad speller right now. So there you go, ignorance. It's anywhere and everywhere, and people like to teach each other things. So I have definitely some words that to me have negative connotations, so I don't use them. But I learn how to listen, and we learn how to talk. It's really fun to not be stagnating pools of energy and to have actual intellectually and emotionally and physically stimulating conversations with humanity in the forefront in different types of subject matters without actively getting into pissy pants. You meet them all over the place. I remember in college, I met plenty of them. They were studying the same stuff I was, sociology. One of them actively got in their little pissy pants about something. I'll never forget that one. I'm like, wow, that's a chip on your shoulder. My gosh. And so anytime there's eggshells, the functional adult human being is not going to be around them. They can stay within their little eggshell community. It's an in group and an out group, and whatever it is that's going on, we have no business being there because they're not expanding their brains. They take things personally to the extent of feeling like eggshells. And we don't waste time. Oh, yes, that's the divine feminine. We have answers. We don't have questions. That's why, again, sciences keeps us humble, because sciences gives us answers and other to expand. As Sadhguru shares when he gets asked, who's a deity in the Western world? Darwin, because he lives life room to expand. Sciences and the human sciences, all that I get to learn keeps on helping me to come here and to share with you how beautiful it is to tap into that infinite higher human conscious potential experience. We'll be back because the light's going out, and have a great end of your lovely Lionsgate portal.